Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Never you're watching this program. I am alone, yes. And once again, this is Undaunted Reactions. My name is Ted Nino. This is about Jesscia Soho's presidential interviews. And it's a long program, around 3 hours. If you remove all the advertisements, a little less than 3 hours. But we're gonna do different parts. Right now, just as a disclaimer, I have not yet thought about who to vote yet. Here in the Philippines, our election day is May 9th, 2022. So I encourage everyone, lumabas kayo at bumoto. I am not going to make a commentary based on my biases. Right now, I don't have any biases, and that's as honest as I can be. People who know me on Facebook can see that I do not really react that much politically. Go ahead and follow me, Don Dino Jr. in Facebook. Follow or add me as a friend, no problem, no issues. In any case, I would want this to be one of the platforms in which I will decide based on their answers. Of course, disclaimer, not because someone is good in speaking or someone is good in terms of answering that he will be my president. Definitely not. Of course, we have to do our due diligence. You as voters would have to do your due diligence as well in terms of reviewing their track record, what they've done so far, their integrity, the achievements, even the personal lives and preferences by these presidential polls. For those of you who are solid, who have solid biases, go ahead and comment, no issues. I may not be able to answer you. I may not answer you. If I will answer you objectively based on what I see at the moment, what I believe in the moment. My only weapon here, my only bias here is logic and truth. You know, I refuse to have a bias. I will not engage with argumentative comments. Just comment away, no problem. I'll just put a heart. I'll just like your comment. Every one of us have rights to have a right to our opinions. Right? Again, right now, coming into the election, I don't know yet who I'm gonna vote. 3 months down the line, I will be making an informed decision, and this program is to help us all make an informed decision. So if you're here and you have an unchangeable bias, fine, just go ahead and listen to our opinions, but please respect. All right. With that, I will start with the first part of the interview. Of course, I'm gonna be coming across, I believe, several advertisements. I'll just skip through those. Alright, by the way, I will be analyzing this based on my experience as a leader in the corporate background. I work under a managed infrastructure services company, a global managed infrastructure services, and I'm one of the senior leaders. And I will act in terms of what I know in terms of action planning, how to execute and implement action plans, how to resolve issues. Not really as a politician, because I do not like politics. So that's to go on record. All right, here we go.
Sa darating na 9 ng Mayo, isang makasaysayang araw ang magaganap. Muli tayong boboto ng mga susunod na lider ng ating bansa. Kabilang na ang pinakamataas at pinakamakapangyarihang pwesto sa gobyerno, ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas na uupo sa Palasyo ng Malacanang. Mabigat na responsibilidad at trabaho, pero marami ang naghahangad sa posisyong ito. Ngayong gabi, samahan niyo kami sa isang natatanging pagkakataon para kilalanin at kilatisin ang ilang tumatakbo sa pagkapangulo. Alamin ang kanilang mga kasagutan sa mga kontrobersyang iniuugnay sa kanila. Timbangin ang kanilang mga posisyon sa mga mahalagang isyu ng bayan. At usisain ang kanilang programa at platapormang inihahain sa taong bayan. Inimbitahan po namin ang 5 nangungunang presidential aspirants base sa pinakahuling surveys. 4 ang tumanggap sa aming hamon. 3 ang makakasama natin sa studio habang nasa remote location ang isa na nagpapagaling matapos dapuan ng COVID-19. Samantala, isa ang tumangging magpaunlak ng panayam. simulan na po natin ang tanungan. Magandang gabi, ito ang The Jesscia Soho Presidential Interviews. Narito na ang apat na presidential aspirants. Senator Ping Lacson, Vice President Leni Robredo, Senator Manny Pacquiao, at Mayor Isko Moreno. Maging patas magkakaroon ang mga presidential aspirant ng magkakaparehong tanong sa ilang pagkakataon at pare-parehong oras o time limit ang pagsagot sa bawat tanong. Nagbunutan din sila para sa pagkakasunod-sunod sa pagsagot sa mga ito. At narito na ang unang tanong para sa lahat ng aspirants na kanilang sasagutin sa loob ng 45 seconds. What is wrong with us? Ano ang inyong diagnosis o sa tingin nyo ay sakit nating mga Pilipino o ng ating bansa? At ano naman po sa inyong palagay ang gamot dito o prognosis for recovery?
Ang isang kamalian natin mga Pilipino, tumigil tayo sa namangarap. We have become dreamless, hopeless, and helpless. Ang dapat dito baguhin yung attitude ng ating mga kababayan sa ating gobyerno. Kaya nga dapat ang manguna sa pagbabago ng attitude ng mga Pilipino, yung gobyerno mismo. Kaya yung aming plataforma, yung aming battle cry, dapat ayusin ng gobyerno para mapabuti ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino. There's no other way because lahat naman ang gagaling sa gobyerno. Ang napakalaking problema ng ating bansa, gobyerno, at ang solusyon, gobyerno rin.
Alright, well, you know what? I do not agree that the Filipinos right now are hopeless, dreamless, and helpless. Maybe helpless. And helpless precisely because I agree. Tama siya, government is the problem. And he's right, we have to change our attitude towards the government, but the government has to prove their worth first. Right? I mean, it's been so many years, so many mistakes, so many errors, but we go through the same cycle, same circle of mistakes. Right? And sometimes that leads to mistrust. And you know, it's a my personal opinion is, you know, I've personally kind of at some point given up on politics because it's dirty. It's just dirty. Philippine politics is dirty, and only recently have I decided my daughter Sam, 18 years old, will be voting for the first time, and I want to exercise being an example. And I want to show, okay, you know what, maybe there's hope, let's see. But Ping is right when he says that the problem is government, the solution is government. But it's not easy, it's not that simple. It's definitely easier said than done. That was a very generic answer. Well, they were only given 30 seconds, maybe that's why. But I disagree that the Filipinos now are dreamless and what do you call it, hopeless. Because I believe that, I think now more than ever, the Filipinos have begun to dream. They have begun to, aspire for higher ground, aspire for higher things. Actually, maybe that's from his point of view, but I definitely disagree. But in terms of, you know, what was happening in the government, kind of helpless because really, the way we vote and the way we vote our leaders, I think we have not learned. Let's listen to Lenny.
One, hindi tayo natuto sa mistakes in the past. Maraming mga leksyon na naibigay sa atin sa mga pagkakamali natin na nakaraan. Pero ulit-ulit natin itong ginagawa at parang hindi tayo natututo. Yun yung number one. And yung prognosis nito, kailangan talagang ma-embed na siya sa ating educational system. Para bata pa lang naiintindihan niya na kung ano yung mali at ano yung tama. Para hindi natin paulit-ulit na nagagawa ulit yung mga maling nangyari in the past. Yung number two, Yung value system. Yung value system natin, yung paniniwala, pag-uugali, parang nakakalimutan natin from time to time. Na baka yung educational system din natin yung makakatulong nito.
Ang kailangan natin...
Alright, before I go to Senator Manny, education, well, definitely one of the root causes. It's one of the major root causes. And in terms of my knowledge of root cause, here's the thing. Education may be the root cause, but if you improve the education now, it won't bring you any resolution in the next 6 years. You know what I mean? It's a long-term process. It's a long haul. Basically, it definitely is one of the root causes, but it's the root cause to a lot of other problems, right? And resolve sometimes if you go down a root cause that's so deep, and resolve that particular root cause. Number one, it's not viable because it's gonna take years before that's solved. And number two, you're not gonna see the results, not within your term, not within your 6-year term. But I do believe that education really has been hindered for the last couple of administrations, last couple of decades, actually, not just years. In fact, in our company, you would see that, although we're great in customer service skills and English, and we adapt quickly, our attitude is great. It's really hard to compete with the technology that other countries bring, but we are catching up. But it has to start with education. I just refuse to believe that in terms of a political propaganda, it's viable in a 6-year term. But it's a good start, especially if you have continuity in terms of your platform, in terms of your action plan. Meaning, in the next 6 years, here's what the next president needs to do. I think that's what's missing, always. Manny.
Unang-unang problema natin ay yung minsan matigas din ang ulo natin at hindi tayo sumusunod sa batas. At ang solusyon dito ay kailangan makipag-coordinate tayo at sumunod tayo sa kinauukulan ang ating gobyerno at magtulungan tayo, magkaisa. Ang kailangan dito ay nag-uusap, nagkakaisa para resolbahin ang anumang problema ng ating bansa.
Alright, now, I love Manny Pacquiao. I mean, if there's a Manny Pacquiao fight, I'll definitely, you can't talk to me, you can't disturb me, ask my family, right? But I don't know how generic, how generic that can, how more generic that can be. That's definitely a general answer. How do you do an action plan? How do you do a platform based on matigas ang ulo, on obedience? You're saying obey the laws, but how do you enforce it? How do you enforce it, right? The question is how, not just what. Okay, what's the problem? What's the prognosis? And how do you solve? But you don't say, okay, we resolve by making the people obey the laws. The next question is how. So right, it's a basic expectation that people should obey. What you need to look out for is what would you do to bridge that gap, because they're not doing their basic expectation, right? It's a basic action planning principle. But I definitely agree that we have to communicate. If any, in fairness to him, there has to be always that dialogue, and that's missing. So many issues and problems could have been resolved if only the people, both parties talked and had a dialogue, public dialogue or private, doesn't matter, right? As long as there's dialogue, that's always missing. And one of the best politicians that I like, Barack Obama, basically always had dialogues with people who oppose him, and that's the way to do it, I believe.
Matigil na talaga yung pasa-pasa ng politika sa mga kanilang mga kamag-anak, o para naman magkaroon ng opportunity yung ibang tao na makapamili, no, sa mga leader ng ating kanya-kanyang komunidad, and particularly sa bansa. Kasi nangyayari for the past 40 years, parang nag-aaway, dalawang pamilya lang, isang parang yun, tungkol lagi sa kanilang mga buhay-buhay at pamilya lamang nila, at higantihan lang ang nangyayari.
Magbabalik!
Alright, well, Isko was dialing in on political dynasties, and that's true. It's true. It's a prevalent issue here in the Philippines. But I think he failed to answer that and connect that to his, answers going forward. Maybe he mentioned political dynasty only once in this 3-hour program, only one more time, which means that may not be really the root cause, and it may not be the real prognosis. If you resolve that, will Philippines be healed? I don't think so. Right? It's a big issue, but it's not the meat of the issue, which was the topic of the question. Right? If you resolve political dynasties, maybe some things will go away, but not all. In fact, a very, very small percentage will improve. That's my opinion on this first round. Let's go one more feature. I think this is where they look at pictures, and then that's part 1.
Ngayon po naman, pasasagutin natin ang ating mga presidential aspirant ng mga tanong na magpapakita ng kanilang personality. Mula sa fishbowl, bubunot ang bawat aspirant ng 5 tanong. Isa-isa ito nilang sasagutin at maglalaan naman ng 15 seconds sa pagsagot sa bawat tanong. 21. Senator, kung mabibigyan ka ng superpower, ano pong pipiliin mo?
Yung masolve yung problema ng Pilipinas at masolve yung problema ng bawat mamamayang Pilipino. Yan lang yung aking hangarin.
Well, I don't know if any superhero can do that. I don't think that's a superpower. It's a good traditional politician answer. I'm not saying he's Trapo. He's old. He's been there for a while. He's not your typical Trapo. He's very steadfast. He's very firm, bakal na kamay, but not in that whole sense. He had some issues, but that answer, definitely political.
Anong problema po kaya yon?
Napakalaki. Ang problema ng Pilipinas talagang patong-patong. Dala pa ng pandemya at saka napakarami pang pinagdaan ng problema. 16.
Sino sa mga naging presidente ang hinahangaan mo?
Ang hinahangaan ko, si President Pinoy. Unang-una, pinangunahan niya yung no wang-wang policy. Symbolic, napakasimple, pero napakasymbolic. Ibig sabihin, walang entitlement. Sa mga nakaraang pangulo natin, talagang siya hinahangaan ko kasi hindi siya kurap. Yun ang pagkakilala ko sa kanya dahil nakatrabaho ko siya. Number 14.
Okay, that was a Pinoy comment. I don't want to comment because it may take a long while. It was a bold move. It was a good move for Pinoy to do that, but it wasn't the end all and be all of that particular program. So maybe on some other day to discuss that.
Ano po ang inyong ipinagdarasal bawat gabi?
Ang sana maging maayos ang buhay natin mga mamamayan. Kasi for the longest time, talaga naghihirap tayo dahil sa mostly self-inflicted and mostly because of bad governance. Ang pinagdarasal ko, sana dumating yung panahon na tayo mga Pilipino mamulat na magbantay sa ating mga government officials. Number 2.
I'll give him that.
Ano ang itinuturing mong most prized possession?
Yung aking integridad. Sa napakahabang panahon mula nag-PNP ako, even before that, nung nasa law enforcement, hanggang maging senador ako, yan ang aking pinagmamalaki. Yung aking mataas na integridad, ni minsan hindi ako tumanggap ng suhol kapalit ng serbisyo publiko. 17.
Ano po ang inyong biggest fear o kinatatakutan?
Ang biggest fear ko sa ating buhay, mawala ng pag-asa yung ating mga kababayan. At mawala ng tuloy mawala ang kanilang respeto at tiwala sa ating pamahalaan. Yan ang nakakatakot sa lahat. Kasi pag ganyan na nangyari, wala na tayong kinabukasan.
Number 20. Ano po ang isang bagay na hindi pwedeng mawala sa inyo? Siguro yung aking holding cross. Lagi ko itong hawak. All the time. Lagi ko dala. All the time. Number 9. Sino sa mga bayani ang gusto nyong makausap? Jose Rizal? Dahil yung pinagdaanan niyang panahon napakahirap. Gusto ko siyang tanungin kung paano niya yun nalagpasan at paano niya natutunan yung mga lessons na tinuro niya sa atin despite the very difficult times. Question number 10. Kung hindi ka kandidato, sino ang iboboto mo sa mga tumatakbo ngayon for president? Manny Pacquiao? Kilala ko siya at alam ko na napakasinsero ng tao. Question.
It may be true. I mean, I don't doubt that she will vote for Manny Pacquiao. She had no choice. She had a row with the other three, with Bongbong, with She had a falling out with unification with Ping Lacson, of course. A war of words with Isko. So, no-brainer. By the way, when I give these comments, I maintain objectivity. I do not attack the people. I just analyze their answers, right? Because again, I am not yet decided, and maybe after these 3 hours, maybe I will have a person to vote. Maybe not. I still have 3 months either way.
Number 4, ano ang iyong guiding principle sa buhay? Na laging gumawa ng tama at i-treat yung ibang tao kung paano natin i-treat yung sarili natin. Question number 19. Ilang oras ka nagtatrabaho sa isang araw? Ako siguro on the average, mga 18 hours. 18 hours a day. Kasi on the average, mga 6 na oras yung tulog ko.
15.
Ano ang ginagawa mo kapag ikaw ay nalulungkot?
Nagmumuni-muni sa tabi, nagkakape-kape. And trying to, look at things differently and quietly to see the clear picture. Number 3.
Ano ang pinakamahal na gamit na meron ka?
Chikot, kotse. Kung gamit, may tuturing ang chikot.
Pwede malaman anong kotse yun, tsaka magkano?
Meron akong van, na high ace ba tawag doon? Toyota. Ayan, may 1 milyon. Malaking pera yun. 23.
Sa anong pagkakataon po kayo umiiyak?
Yung may mga sakit na bata. Kasi nung bata ko, nagtahi ako. So, dinala ko sa Lazaro. Tapos yung nanay ko maglalabada para makabili ng kulay dilaw na dextrose. So, lagi ko naalala yun. Kaya pag may sakit yung bata, medyo nadudurog ako.
Number 8. Kung hindi ka isang politiko, ano sa tingin mo ang trabaho mo ngayon?
Artista. At kung di ako nag-artista, malamang seaman. Kasi yun yung pangarap ko maging kapitan ng barko dati, nung bata ko. Dahil pagka naging kapitan ka ng barko, yayaman ka. 7.
Sino ang itinuturing mong real-life hero sa iyong buhay?
Yung mga magulang ko. Kasi marami silang naituro sa akin na kung paano iraos sa buhay, paano maging matatag sa buhay, paano makaalis sa kanilalagyan. Lalo-lalo na tatay. Number 11.
Sino ang gusto mong makita sa paper bill, yung pera po natin?
Yung ating mga bayani, yung nagbigay ng inspirasyon at karangalan sa ating bansa. Pahalagahan na, bilang pagpapahalaga ng kanilang naambag na at nagawa sa ating bansa. Number 5.
Ano ang inyong paboritong libro at sino po ang author?
Purpose-Driven Life. Yung ang binabasa ko at yun ang talagang nagbigay sa akin ng guide para magbagong buhay, and then ang Panginoon nagbigay sa akin ng conviction.
Sino hong author pala nun?
Rick Warren.
Question number 25.
Number 25.
Ano o sino ang itinuturing na greatest love ng buhay mo?
Ang greatest love ng buhay ko ay siyempre yung Panginoon, pangalawa yung pamilya ko, yung asawa ko. 24.
Anong ugali ng tao ang pinakaayaw mo?
Ang pinakaayaw ko sa ugali ng tao ay yung hindi marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan at hindi mawain. Number 1.
Sino ang taong inyong pinakahinahangaan?
Ang taong pinakahinahangaan ko yung siyempre yung mami ko at saka daddy ko. Dahil sila ang nagpalaki sa akin ng tama.
Alright, before we go to the next feature section, isang salita. That particular Q&A gave them the chance for the public to know them on a personal level. So, some of them still answered it politically, but some of them did answer personally. I didn't find that much juicy answers, or it's fine. I believe them definitely. There are some again who gave some political answers, but that's fine. But at least some of them answered that you'll get to know. Oh, okay, so that's how it is, right? I think there'll be more of that in a bit.
Mabilis ang tanong para sa lahat. Tatawagin po natin itong isang salita. Kung saan magpapakita kami ng mga larawan at hihingan namin ang ating mga aspirant ng one-word description sa bawat larawan. Si Kian de los Santos, isa pong victim ng EJK o extrajudicial killing.
Justisya. Panagutan. Kawawa.
Nakakadurog. Siargao after Odette.
Alright, so the objective of this exercise is basically, it gives you what first comes to mind, right, when you see something. So, and normally, from your next president, you would really want something that's associated with some action, right, or maybe a description, but not necessarily what it is. We're not asking what it is, right, but basically what are you going to do about it, or how do you feel about it, or anything but answering what it is, because I think that's unless some of them did that on purpose because they didn't want to comment. But let's hear.
Bilis kilos. Kawawa.
Devastation.
Kawawa.
Philippine flag.
Right, so answers like kawawa or devastation, I'm not really asking what that was, but we're asking, okay, what do you think? What can be tied to that picture, right? But again, it's spur of the moment, whatever comes to mind first. So that's fine. I think Lenny said Philippine flag. Of course, it's the Philippine flag. That's what it is. Right?
Bandila ng Pilipinas.
Another one, but
Pagka-Pilipino.
Igalang. Mahal ko.
Isang estudyante sa online class. Edukasyon.
Helpless. Persevere. Pag-asa.
Mga estudyanteng tumatawid ng ilog po.
Korupsyon. Infrastruktura. Hirap.
Kahirapan.
Right. So that's several different perspectives. Corruption, it's kind of related, because because the money is being corrupted. There's not enough money to build bridges or to repair that, or so people can just have a safe travel means of transportation or whatnot. And then Lenny and Manny said hirap. Infrastructure, I think, in my opinion, your
Leader.
very safe answers.
Pangulo.
President of the Philippines.
Sayang.
It was really just Ping Lacson's answer that was really real talk. The others were just safe. He's the president, or maybe they just didn't wanna dig in deeper. Like president, who else? But they just wanted to be safe or something.
COVID.
Tapusin. Threat. Salot.
Ang inaabangang sagot ng mga presidential aspirant sa mga isyong kanilang kinasasangkutan. Susunod na. Can you look people in the eye at masasabi niyo hubang wala kayong nilabag na batas at karapatang pantao?
Well, so far that's we're done here for the first part. The juicy part is maybe part 2, 3, 4, because we're gonna take one presidential bullet at a time. Because I think that's the personal controversial issues by each president. So we're gonna dig deep into that in the next coming hours or days. Share your opinion, please. I invite you to share your opinion, but I am not here for argument. We can share logical opinions. And right now, of course, with that, these are basically get to know them better questions. I am definitely still undecided. In fact, I watched this, but not fully focused with my family earlier, because we just got off a busy day. So this is my chance to analyze further. Again, I'll analyze from the perspective of my expertise, just being a leader in a corporate management of infrastructure services, based on action plan perspective and based on implementation perspective. And that's really what they want as well. What Jesscia wants, for the people to understand what the concrete platform of each presidential vote is, and trying to get to know them better. It becomes juicy from here on out, so don't miss it. I will see you in the next video. Once again, this is Undaunted Reactions. My name is Ted Dino.